guys. So what are we going to talk about today?
Why don't we talk about the cost associated with bringing a lawsuit?
Wow.
Why don't you tell us something about that?
Let us count the ways. There are many, many costs. The first is just getting into the courthouse. That cost about $450 just to file a lawsuit in circuit court in Florida. And then of course you have to serve that, which is another $90 or so. But that's just the price of admission. That's just your ticket to the rodeo. So after that, you're going to have experts because the plaintiff can't always testify to everything. There's a whole assortment of damages that require expert testimony. And so I know you both are familiar with the plethora of experts that are out there, so you all can kind of jump in and cover some of the areas where you need to retain an expert to offer expert opinions.
There are a host of them, and depending on the case and the complexity of the case will sort of derive how much needs to be spent in terms of retaining, preparing, and working with experts. And one of the most important things we do when we analyze cases is try to get a feel for what that means, because none of us want to be in a position where we, resolve the case or successfully win the case, and because we spent so much money, we end up giving the client $5. Like, we don't want to do that. So it can be very expensive. So that's always part of our analysis in any individual case.
But just to give you an idea, say in a catastrophic loss type case, and I think my partners would all agree with me, you could be looking anywhere from minimum $300 to probably excess of $1 million just in cost alone.
Right.
I have a case now in pre-suit just for a forensic accountant. We have spent over $50,000 for a graphics person to do the IT, over $50,000. And I think a lot of times people don't realize just how much these things cost to be prepared to prove all of your elements of damage. And you do have to hire these folks if you're going to prove those lines of damage.
Right.
Right. And in personal injury cases, we as the attorney advance the cost in the case, pay for the expert, and that money is clearly at risk if we went to trial and didn't recover anything. So, there's always that kind of analysis as well, knowing the cost, what it takes to get to trial, knowing that money's at risk. But the client doesn't have to bear that cost. It's only if we recover did the costs get reimbursed to the firm.
And it's always a good question to ask if you are meeting with a personal injury attorney about that kind of thing. Like, tell me, attorney, what do you think the cost will be to prove my case? What kind of money we need to spend? So you, from the beginning, have an understanding depending on your case.